So, some of the reasons why people are opposing the idea of education savings account, ESAs, or school vouchers is that private schools are set up differently than the public schools, right? Public schools receive some federal funding, state funding, and local funding, usually by property taxes for local funding. In doing so, in order to receive that funds, their teachers have to be certified. They have to accept any and all students. So those with disability, low income, poor behavior, doesn't matter. They have to take everybody. They also have to provide transportation to and from school. They have to follow the federal laws for providing students with disabilities access to, make it accessible for their education. And they also have to do the state testing. So in Texas, that's the STAR test, and all public schools are required to do that. Public schools also only receive their money, their funding, if the student attends school. So it's not based on enrollment. So it's all based on attendance. So there's a whole huge push for the public schools to encourage kids to show up every single day and not be absent because they don't get their money if the kids are absent that day. And we all know, like, people get sick, you need vacations, things happen, you can't always be at school every day, and you still have to run the building, like, you still have to pay for the lights, electricity, teacher salaries, all that stuff, whether or not that student is there that day. But the way it's set up is they will not receive the funds unless the student's there. For private schools, their funding is mainly tuition and donations. So the idea that they could now receive public funds is controversial for people because the private schools, their teachers don't have to be certified. They do not have to provide transportation to and from school. They don't have to accept people unless they want to. So they don't have to take you if you have disabilities or you're low income or you have behavioral issues or you're not scoring well on things. They get to choose what students they accept. They also don't have to do the state testing. There is no government oversight over the private schools for their curriculum, their teachers, and there is no way to accurately compare the education from a private school to a public school because they're not taking the same test. The private schools do not have to take the same STAR testing that the Texas public schools do. So it makes it really hard to know if you're actually getting a better education at a private school versus a public school. There is a lack of accountability and there's a lack of transparency that has raised alarm for a lot of people who are opposing this bill.